Well, hello there. I just wanted to make another Operation Avalanche video. I haven't made any new content in quite a while, and I felt like I just needed to, touch base with my subs or whatnot, this, that, and the other thing. Plus, I just made another playlist for it. I mean, I've made so many of these things, these little half-hour shows, but I guess, whether I've made around 50 of them or not, most of them got deleted with my old YouTube page, and I mean, that stinks, but whatever. It is what it is. And yeah, lately, I've been de-stressing a lot. I just don't really feel like being online. I'm always logged in and whatnot, just to stay logged in. But I mean, I'm not usually online, and so if you message me, chances are I might see the message, but I won't message it back. I'm just not online much. I guess I'm in introvert mode, hermit mode. Everything these days is stressing me out. I've been basically just playing video games and trying to relax. I mean, since my sister got poisoned and other things going on in my family, it feels like a nightmare lately. And so even like this, my Fallout game, I mean, come on. I figured out how to download an ENB. I upgraded the graphics for Fallout New Vegas. I even got super realistic power armor. I mean, Tony Stark, Iron Man, eat your heart out. Even though it's just a video game, that'd be pretty sweet in real life. And like I always says to people who watch my videos, to quote some of my other teachers, don't believe a word I say, just research everything I say. Because at the end of the day, what I think, doesn't matter to you, and what you think doesn't matter to me. I'm not here to argue with anybody. I don't really care. I'm here to drop some information. What you do with it is up to you. So anyone wanting to pick a fight about stuff like this, it's like people attack you for not wanting to debate. And the simple truth is they don't even admit that they don't want to debate. They just want to argue in endless circles. So yeah, I'd rather be playing my game here. And like my YouTube page, even here, my games, for as long as I can remember, I've always used my dad's story names. Merrimour the Red, Vista the Valiant, Destral the Druid, Rommel the Ranger, Duldork the Deceiver. I always end up using the same names for everything. But as far as getting back to my page here, another thing I always say to people, always make sure the video is set to 1080p. I know YouTube likes to have you pull up a video and you'll start watching and you'll think, oh, the quality's crap. And the YouTube algorithm has set the video to 420 on purpose just to make it look crummy. All my videos are uploaded at either 1080 or 720, whatever it is. So there's that. And I mean, over here on BitChute, I think they're all 720. So if you want to look at them at high quality and YouTube censors it or whatever, Odyssey is pretty decent for the high quality 1080p. But yeah, like I say, not online much. Don't really want to be online much. I haven't been making many videos lately. But I do post daily. That doesn't mean I want to have a big conversation with somebody about something or another. I don't really care to get into arguments with people. If I feel like conversing with somebody like Basil or whatever, then yeah, I will. But again, if I don't message you back, don't take it personally. I'm just kind of going through a thing right now. You understand? I hope people can understand. I'm a big fan of boundaries, And if people don't respect other people's personal boundaries, it kind of makes me more than angry. It's like Bruce Lee once said, I'm not here to measure up to your expectations, and you're not here to measure up to mine. And I guess that's all I got to say about that. I'm old school. I'm Gen X. I mean, who remembers Bender here? I relate to Bender a lot. If you go and watch this old Breakfast Club movie, you'll see why. That, and I turned 50 in a year. So, I don't know, whatever. Also, there's what's going on in the world that's driving me to drink. Like Orwell, Brave New World coming to pass. No one seems to notice. No one seems to care. Or the censorship. Or even my first Twitter page, thousands of followers. I didn't get that back. So much for Twitter free speech. But as far as staying on point with the topic, yeah, I wanted to make a new video and touch base with everybody and remind people of the basics and that everybody needs boundaries. But it's I feel called to, I don't know, try try to inform people and wake people up as I can about stuff. Like, I've felt called to make videos to try to help people out, but I'm no counselor. I'm never going to be a counselor. I'm too impatient. I'm more of an angry journalist. So please don't look to me for counseling. I can barely fix my own problems, much less help people and counsel them out of theirs. I can make videos here to try to help people, and I make daily posts about stuff going on in the world today. Picking your nose there, Netanyahu, picking your nose there, buddy. But yeah, like, I'm not here for that. I'm not equipped for that. If anything, today I wanted to talk about what's going on in the Middle East. The craziness going on over in that little piece of land everyone calls Israel. But you know how the YouTube algorithm goes. I can't really say a lot anymore. But like the title of this video was suggested, the difference between the house of Israel and the house of Judea. And I mean, there is a difference. So I'll let you pause that and read it at your own speed. And firstly, of course, disclaimer, which is sad that I even have to say this, but no, of course I don't condone any kind of war or any kind of brutal attacks on any kind of people, whether it's back and forth this way or that, any kind of conflict. But the TV says to get upset about this, and people just get upset about this. You know, all those years ago when Obama drone striked a couple weddings, no one got outraged. Or even in Africa right now, how many kids were kidnapped and sold into slavery? Or even in Saudi Arabia, places like that where slavery is still illegal. Or China, where slavery is still illegal. But the TV says get outraged about something, and people just get outraged about it. So please don't get it twisted. I'm not pro one side or the other. I'm not part of this war. I don't want anything to do with this war. This war shouldn't even exist. And even the one argument I got into it online about was on Instagram, and it was pretty polite. A lot of it just comes down to definitions. The English language sucks. So people don't even realize, you know, what these terms mean. Who really is the northern house of Israel and who is the southern house of Judea? Much less where they got all the weapons, why they're doing this, and who funded Hamas originally. So let's check out what Ron Paul said about it way back in 2009.
What's happening in the Middle East, and in particular with Gaza right now, we have some moral responsibility for both sides in a way, because we provide help and funding for both Arab nations and Israel. And so we definitely have a moral responsibility, and especially now today, the weapons being used to kill so many Palestinians are American weapons, and American funds essentially are being used for this. But there's a political liability which I think is something that we fail to look at, because too often there's so much blowback from our intervention in areas that we shouldn't be involved in. You know, Hamas, if you look at the history, you'll find out that Hamas was encouraged and really started by Israel, because they wanted Hamas to counteract Yasser Arafat. And you say, well, yeah, that was better then and served its purpose, but we didn't want Hamas to do this. So then we as Americans say, well, we have such a good system, we're going to impose this on the world. We're going to invade Iraq and teach people how to be Democrats. We want free elections. So we encourage the Palestinians to have a free election. They do, and they elect Hamas. So we first indirectly and directly through Israel help establish Hamas. Then we have election. Then Hamas becomes dominant, so we have to kill them. You know, it just doesn't make sense. During the 80s, you know, we were allied with Osama bin Laden. And we were contending with the Soviets. It was at that time our CAA thought it was good if we radicalized the Muslim world. So we financed the madrasa schools to radicalize the Muslims in order to compete with the Soviets. There's too much blowback. There's a lot of reasons why we should oppose this resolution. It is not in the interest of the United States. It's not in the interest of Israel either.
And so, yeah, that kind of says it all, right? Follow the money. But, you know, not only that, there's the media censorship and the media whores that you want to talk about the real corruption. That's why the only news show I watch is Canary Cry News Talk. It's the only show I can trust, as far as, like, people I've tweeted with or texted with, online at least. People like Gons, whose movie Age of Deceit changed my life, led me to Christ. And so the media right now, they're talking about dead babies and dead everything and bomb everybody and let's just go to war. Send your children over to fight another war, you know. And I for sure don't want to be part of that. I don't want my name on it. I definitely wouldn't vote for anybody who'd put it to the test. And at that, leave me out of it. That's what I say. But it does need to be talked about. And so, yeah, like on my Instagram, which was where this conversation happened. And I can always tell which posts they're censoring more on Instagram because my posts typically get an average of 12 to 20 likes. And my numbers have been around 840 to 900 for, I don't know, 2 years. Yeah, right. You know what a bell curve is there, Meta, Instagram, Facebook? But anyway, that being said, this post had no likes. So I could tell it was being censored. But one person thought to comment, and it was this Bonnie, I don't know. And she was saying basically, she didn't understand. I think she didn't understand what I was trying to imply with the stand with Israel. I just wanted to get to the bottom of the etymology of the word, you know, the idea that who's in control of that piece of dirt right now, and do I want to stand with a nation state that is shedding more blood than anyone else I know of in the last 50 years, since 1948. And so she starts talking about, you know, everything that's happened to the Jews and that we need to stand with them because their enemies are at the gates and all that. And I'm not going to read these word for word. I'll let you pause them and read them at your own speed. But basically the idea of, hold on a second and let's talk this out. I'm specifically on about the phraseology. I'm trying to figure out the definition of everything. I'm definitely not here to argue about which side of the war I'm on. I'm talking about who and what and why this is happening. Now, Torah-observant Judeans, Jews, the southern kingdom of Judea, like the people of the line of David, those are the actual Jews, the southern tribes. Now, the northern tribes are constantly referred to as the house of Israel. And to be grafted back into the cultivated olive tree, Christians and Gentiles and the northern houses, as Jesus said, I've come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, we have to be grafted back in. So that being said, when you say I stand with Israel, who are you talking about? Are you talking about the house of Judea? Or are you talking about these social state-run governments and these political echelons controlled by secret societies and whatnot? And as I said, just pause this and read it at your own speed. But the fact of the matter is who are we talking about? We're talking about the Sadducees and the Pharisees. So no, I don't stand with the Sadducees or the Pharisees. And she goes on to kind of lecture me about, oh, the Holocaust and whatnot, and we have to stand with them because of the horribleness. And it's like, just hold on a second there. You know, I happen to know more about that than most people on earth. And so even with the family connection, the bad blood, the fact that my family name was changed in Operation Paperclip, and I don't even know who my father's, I don't even know who my family is, because I don't even know my dad's real last name. That's why I named the channel Merrimour the Red, because that was one of his names from one of his stories, and to me that was almost like more real than what it said on our driver's licenses. And so I went on to say, I stand with the believers out there, not the United Nations Israel of disbelief, not the state of Israel, which violates the Torah by even existing. Only God himself can restore that land. You know, not the Rothschilds, not the Zionists. So whatever, I think this is the 10 horns fighting over top dog spot because they know the 3 weakest are going to get wiped away. And so she goes on to ask, don't you think that the other people groups, the enemies at the gate, shouldn't be removed or whatever? And it's like, hold on. The Bible says Yahweh, Yahuah, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, God the Father in heaven rebukes that land because only when the New Jerusalem comes back is it supposed to go down. Mankind are not supposed to war over that land anymore. And since 1948, there's been nothing but blood like a river. Not to mention the fact that that flag has the Star of Remphan on it and not the menorah candle like it should be. And I'm not Catholic. She asked me if I was Catholic. I'm like, no, give your head a shake. I'm a non-denominational Christian. The Catholics and Israel and all that, that's the Sadducees and Pharisees of the modern world. And I replied, I meant no offense, but The difference between the house of Judea and the house of Israel is huge. And so she asked this question here. I'm like, meant to be there? Muslims meant to be there? Semitic people? The Semitic peoples that are born in that region that speak those language groups? That means if you hate Muslims, you're just as much of an anti-Semite as if you hate Jews? And I said to her, what do you mean the Muslims aren't meant to be there? Edomites, the descendants of Esau's clan, the Ishmaelites, the original covenant with Abraham, they're in on that. I don't know if people know that, but they are. So they can too be counted in as the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And all they have to do is repent and be grafted into the stick of Ephraim. But according to the scriptures, when Jesus comes back, he'll solve all this. It's not up for us to deal with this. We blew it. We blew it. Solomon was the last halfway decent king, and even he screwed up. And so that's all I got to say about that. There is in Israel a disbelief. And, read Matthew 24. After the tribulation of those times, then Yahshua comes back. So right now, what's going on right now? Yeah, that's not the house of Judea. That's the 10 horns, getting all their ducks in order. And so why would I support any of them? Why would I want to? It's bonkers. It's a shortcut to thinking. And I won't waste my energy on it, right? Even that being said, just looking at my Facebook here for a minute, another post I was talking about the other day, the solar eclipse. It's funny how they always happen during the fall feasts. I think there was one in 2013. I saw it on Vancouver Island. I was hanging out with my buddy Doug. And then the last one was 2017, right? And NASA would have us believe that's happening thousands of miles away in fake space. Yeah, okay. But also I noticed Facebook, for sure, is censoring tags on certain posts. The tag just didn't show up. Like, I couldn't even share it, even though I tagged it with my account. So that's not weird or anything. But yeah, exact same path as it was in 2017. I just find that strange. People want to argue about, the flat earth movement. I'm not even a flat earther. I'm a realm earther, like a biblical geocentrist. And I definitely don't want to argue about it with people because it's a waste of time. However, I will say this. Once I saw real-time footage of the sun and the moon in the clouds by people I knew who took some of these pictures, like most of these I think were taken by the same person, but it really breaks my brain when somebody accuses me of faking a picture instead of actually taking a look at, NASA's fakery. Or even at that. Different topic altogether. People still arguing about, NASA and gravity. Well, I would love to get these 2 books by Oleg D. Jeffomenko. It's just equations. A lot of it would be gibberish to most people. A lot of it would be gibberish to me. But these 2 books prove that gravity is nothing more than a byproduct of electromagnetism. And the idea that objects fall because of density or buoyancy, it has nothing to do with magical gravity, and NASA knows it at the highest levels. Like, all these people, I would wager most of them are Freemasons and most of them are in on it. What? Much less the fact that the founders of NASA were all Nazis, guys from Operation Paperclip, and that my OSS grandpa probably knew. Psychopaths, Nazis, just swept under the carpet because we wanted their minds, we wanted their technologies. And then I saw Rick Hummer chime in and say, been realizing this for years, the cosmology was not what we've been told, the electromagnetic realm. And yeah, Dr. Wallace Thornhill's Thunderbolts of the Gods, obviously they're atheists, but that's been around since, 2010 I first heard about it. And as I said to him, yeah, I agree. When Flat Earth came out, I got on board real quick. I feel bad for people who struggled, but like I says, even with this, my biggest video about it, I went to Canada's largest radio telescope observatory and I debunked the Big Bang Theory in 30 minutes or less. Because yeah, like I said to Rick, even back in 2011, 2012, before I became a believer, I started looking into the holographic universe principle, studying physics, calculus, and I dropped out after my dad got hit. I lost focus. I guess he survived the hit, but he went septic from all the stab wounds, so whatever. Needless to say, I wasn't really up for university anymore. But anyway, that's moot, because I would have dropped out sooner or later when I would have came to the realization that it was all bogus. The electric universe is vastly superior in every way to the Big Bang model. And the powers that shouldn't be know it, but follow the money. Like hundreds of millions of dollars a day on the line with the education system. And so yeah, thin sheet of reality. This citation here, it's in my favorite documentaries list. Go check it out. Like, I was looking into Realm Earth stuff way before 2015. So the idea of people breaking my balls about this, like, it's like, be gone with all that. I ain't gonna argue about it, because the truth of the matter is if you can't entertain an idea without getting mad, something's wrong with you, not me. And if someone hates on me because I believe or want to look into something, well, that sounds like a them problem, not a me problem. So whatever, there's that. And on it goes. Like I said, I'm Gen X. I got thicker skin than you. These millennials today, people online, I'm arguing with people that, you know, weren't even around when I first started looking at this. I just don't even want anything to do with it. Again, boundaries. Boundaries. We got to have boundaries. Boundaries. And I don't know, but too soon? I mean, people's attention spans these days. The TV tells them to get outraged, they get outraged. On a different topic, I thought this was pretty impressive. John McAfee was the real Iron Man. He was the real Tony Stark if there was one. I'm not endorsing the way he lived, but, you know, he may have actually even killed his own father. I mean, coming from a super abusive family, I can relate to the guy. But he's the real Iron Man, not Elon Musk. And on a completely different topic, when they were hassling him way back in the day, I thought this was pretty interesting. His response to all these corrupt politicians, what he did, I mean, brilliant. And the award for Best Art of War Trojan Horse Strategy goes to John McAfee. Check this out.
I had arranged with the head of security. I was going to come in. He said, "Sir, we have it from the highest authority. We are not to allow you entry into the U.S. Embassy." Understand me. Who was the highest authority of the State Department? Hillary Clinton. I'm an American citizen with a f***ing American passport. I'm sorry. I'm not wanted in America. I've got no crimes in America. Is it not a reason to say, I don't think I'm going to vote for you?
And yet you're here now.
For a month and a half, I was on the run. The reason that the government wanted to collect me was that after they had raided my property in 2012 in the jungle, shot my dog, abused me, destroyed $500,000 worth of my property over a bogus charge, I was pissed off. And so I donated to many secretaries within the government laptop computers, really nice ones, that were preloaded with viral spyware. Within a week, the entire government computer system was under my control. I was watching, monitoring, listening. I was looking for information that they had set me up for that raid. I didn't find that. I did find out that the Minister of National Defense was the largest drug trafficker in all of Central America. And the Minister of Immigration, the largest human trafficker.
Well, we don't want to get killed by them either, so we're probably not going to.
That's fine.
And so yeah, all these topics aside, going all over the place here, I thought that was pretty interesting. A lot of people think that dude faked his own death. All I know is he'd probably be a pretty interesting guy to have a conversation with. And so, I don't know, coming full circle, why I haven't been online much lately, I guess I just don't need the stress, and a lot of it is stress. And that's even the positive. Sometimes people just want to talk to me and they just want to be my best friend. It's like, I can't do that. Boundaries. And so maybe I'll get to the end of my video here, and maybe I'll even play something a little happy that I saw the other week. Walk into the store that I recorded that was pretty sweet. Have to admit, living in the mountains is pretty nice. I live in an orchard valley, so even if the world ends, there'll still be food and fresh water around. But as far as the internet goes and YouTube videos, I'll just keep doing it until the internet doesn't exist anymore. Or unless something happens to me, God forbid. I pray, Yeshua, Jesus, please protect me. Like my little prayer I post at the top of my Facebook here. And so again, for those people who want to try to contact me online, I'm in my Truther chat and I post daily, but other than that, I'm not online. If I don't message you back, don't take offense to it. It's nothing personal. I just need my space right now, going through some stuff. So at that, I'll just call it a video, and I'll play that clip I wanted to show you. And yeah, I'll just say, peace out, baby.
Oh, look at him go. Oh, clashing antlers. Who says animals don't play? Oh, he poked him in the bum. Now that's awesome. And this is just my front yard. I live right there, yo. Right in that white building there. Oh. You guys having fun or what? Should this go on Facebook? I don't know. I don't usually post about my personal life on Facebook. But you damn dare deers, you're interesting. Oh, look at you go again, eh? Just putting on a little show. Just be careful, guys. You could put an eye out or something. That's awesome. You don't usually see the bucks. Well, as much as I'd like to film you all day, guys, I think you perceive me to be no threat, being as how I'm, I don't know, 15 feet away. That's awesome. Just be careful, guys. You're gonna hurt each other. Oh, he's had enough. And so have I, personally.